Oh god, there's another one of these?
EU-wide petition called Stop Killing Games.
Stop destroying video games.
Killing games.
Stop killing games.
Stop killing my games!
This
It's a hot topic right now, and while my channel is still relatively small, I don't want to ignore it. I think it's important to set this initiative in the correct light, because there's a lot of hate on it, and even worse, a lot of misinformation on it, making it very difficult to see the proper picture. Stop killing my games? Huh? What are you on about, Dominic? Well, sometime this summer, an initiative was starting asking the European Union to create a law to protect video games from being killed off when a publisher or developer decides to pull the plug on supporting it after release. Number one reason for this initiative being that if you buy a product, you own that copy, and if it enters an unplayable state after some time, what did you own and why did you buy it in the first place? But what I'm getting really annoyed by is these massive YouTubers like Pirate Software.
Hi, my name is Jason Thor Hall, also known as Pirate Software Online. Community brought me this and tried to get me to sign it. And I don't want to. Number one, I can't because I don't live in Europe. But number two, I wouldn't sign it even if I could.
Calling out that they are not supporting this initiative because it's vaguely written.
It is incredibly vague.
And then the videos go on and on about how it could potentially be abused and give very detailed reasons as to why it's very normal to expect that games are killed off after a few years and left unplayable. Really? Look, I'm not going to argue about why the examples given, such as why publishers are perfectly within their rights to pull the plug and leave their games unplayable, because honestly, that would make this video an hour long and I just don't care about stupid arguments. I'm going to say just one thing about it. This is a European Union matter, and if you live in the EU, you shouldn't let yourself be influenced by people outside of it, because, well, the people outside the European Union don't necessarily share the same cultural values as the people in it. Take gun control laws, for example. So let's keep it that way, please.
Guns don't kill people.
The official initiative, and not the public domain stopkillinggames.com, but the European Union page, I've put a link to it on the description, is not vague. It only asks publishers that sell or license video games to consumers to leave their video games in a reasonably functional, playable state after they pull the plug. It's not a demand, it's a request to the EU to look into this. So in short, if a single player game requires an online connection to phone home for whatever reason, just remove it. It's simple as that. As a senior game developer, I really don't see this as an obstacle. It's likely more work to get the game pulled off every platform than to patch it up and remove the feature in the first place. Of course, this is the simplest example, because how would a multiplayer game with dedicated servers have to fare? And here we go in the grey area of leave their video games in a reasonably functional, playable state. Now, I know we humans don't like grey areas because they are difficult to define, process and understand. We like boxes like hetero and gay, or male, female and non-binary. We don't have room in our hands to understand grey areas, so I understand that everyone trying to wrap their head around this problem to form an opinion on it is trying to simplify the matter into black and white. And then you have the stupid opinions such as, well, Ubisoft's online-only racing game The Crew has been online for over 10 years, its licenses have probably already run out, there are already 2 sequels, so it's fine to kill it. I don't play it anyways, so I don't care. These are stupid opinions because they don't look further than your own biased opinions. I am pretty sure that Microsoft would invoke hell on earth if they would make Windows 98 or XP or even Vista not boot up anymore. No, they just remove all the expired licenses. Many of the online services will probably not work anymore, but I can still perfectly install Windows NT if I wanted to. And I'm super glad Microsoft didn't decide to do this, by the way, because I think they could if they really wanted to. Just like Ubisoft could. What they could have done is build their live service game in such a way that if they ever decided to pull the plug on it, which is a given, they could remove the expired licensed part and make the game run as a single player game. And if they really wanted to go the extra mile for extra fan loyalty points, they could have shared the binaries needed to set up local servers. It's all about the word reasonable and how you define it. Yes, the EU may have had a few misses in the past, personally, I don't really like that I have to allow or disallow cookies on every bloody website. Sorry. Maybe they could have figured out something better, but I do like how X is not allowed to use my personal data to train their AI on, at least not without my permission. I live in the EU and I trust that the policies it makes are for the protection of the people in the EU, whether it's their freedom, safety or consumer rights. If we call on the EU for help on defining what it means to own a game and saving their cultural heritage, then I trust them to sit down with all the involved parties and think long and hard to come up with a legislation not vague, not damaging to the industry, but a set of laws to protect both creators, publishers and consumers. Who knows, maybe it will exclude games as a service altogether. Maybe with all the data on it they decide there isn't an issue at all. Maybe they will force future games to always have at least some sort of offline functionality, or maybe just ends with a warning better informing consumers what a live service game actually means and what it is exactly that they are not buying. And so please, fellow Europeans, if you trust the EU enough to defend your basic human rights, please do not listen to the opinions of people outside of the EU. They don't trust the EU to defend their rights because, well, the EU doesn't. It's for us Europeans. Now I have just one more specific message to pirate software.
Known as Pirate Software Online.
Please stop quoting Ross W. Scott.
Hi.
He is the person behind the StopKillingGames.com and maybe one of the people behind the initiative. But you're trying to make it personal, attacking the person you think is behind the initiative. In the EU we try, and sometimes fail, not to vote for the person, but for the ideals. We try to not do populism, so I don't think you should be quoting his YouTube videos, because what he says in his videos is not written in the initiative itself. He's not even European, so if you do have to quote someone, please quote me. I'm just kidding, of course. Non-Europeans are more than welcome to join the debate on European legislation on games and everything else, and hopefully make the Stop Killing Our Games initiative better. But it doesn't really matter who you think is an idiot. Pirate Software, Ross W. Scott, me, or all three of us, we probably are. It's actually all about what you think. If you want the European Union to look into protecting the heritage of games and would like laws on what game creators can do when they pull the plug on their games, then just read the details on the initiative and maybe sign it.
Join the Helldivers.
Now, politics are really not my thing, but unfortunately I just couldn't ignore them this time. However, I promise to stay far, far away from politics, even game politics, for a long while in the future. I do hope you liked this video, and I would love to see your face again next week.
Lights on screens, they're fading fast. Used to laugh and play, what a blast. Now it's all about the cash. All our dreams, they're in the trash. Pixel worlds, they turn to gray. Fun and joy, they slip away. Every patch, a price to pay. Gaming's lost, it's like today. Game over, lost away. Publishers that slip away. Every patch, a price to pay. Gaming's lost, it's like today. Now it's just a hollow spin, made us pay to just begin.